Right before we went to break, Terry, Maz asked a great question. He said, if you were able to bring Lamar Jackson into the Detroit Lions right now, no matter what it took, that wasn't really the question. It was, does that turn them into the Super Bowl favorite, or does that turn them into a team that can get to the Super Bowl this year? Terry, your thoughts on that?
I want to know, am I allowed to ask Maz a question before I answer that question?
100%.
Maz.
Yes, sir.
Will the forward pass be outlawed in the NFL next year?
No, Terry, it will not be outlawed.
Okay. Right.
And you know what? Lamar Jackson can throw as well as anybody.
Okay. Then my answer is no.
Okay. Why is your answer no?
I just don't like the way he throws the ball. Yes, he can throw it. Yes, he can sling it. But it's not consistent enough for me. I'm willing to gamble on Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, first of all, he costs too much money, $50 million. It's going to be more than $50 million, but it's going to be $50 million.
Mahomes gets 50.
Okay.
He can't make more than Mahomes.
Okay,
well,
Patrick Mahomes.
He signed his deal earlier, too.
I understand.
Like Mahomes actually is getting, I think, 49ers first year. I think he signed his deal earlier to give them a discount, if you will. So
he doesn't deserve more than that. So he's going to get less than Mahomes. It's less guaranteed money.
Russell makes more than that.
It's less guaranteed money as well. Before you answer, Terry.
But the way it works is the later you sign, the more you make. Hey, remember this town went crazy because Matthew Stafford was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL
for like a week.
2017.
Huh?
2017.
Yeah, for a week.
Yeah, for a week. Now he's like 50th.
Right.
So that's the way it works.
I know, and Mel Tucker got his money, and we all said that day, this is probably going to be cheap when it comes down to it.
Still expensive.
He's still coming, by the way. Tucker's still coming. But Terry, Lamar Jackson had no receivers and no running backs in all his years with Baltimore. He's coming here now, and there's been rumors over the past couple of years that Detroit was a place that he'd like to play. And I'm going to tell you this. Bet online right now, the odds for Lamar Jackson to go to a different team if Baltimore does not sign him, and guess who the favorite is? The Detroit Lions at 3-1. 9-2 is the next team. So 3-1 is a solid favorite. Yeah, you could bet right now on Bet Online that the Lions sign Lamar Jackson if he is not a Raven.
Here's my biggest thing with that. To answer your question, no, the Lions aren't the favorite to win the Super Bowl, or they're not going to be in the Super Bowl if they were to get Lamar Jackson. I don't think that's feasible, and I don't think it's something they shouldn't do. Here's why. Lamar Jackson, the last two seasons, and I love Lamar Jackson. I've gone on record in saying what the Baltimore Ravens has done, I think, is lazy, it's dirty, it's grimy. Everything that you say you want a player to be when he gets drafted, he's been that and more. So he should have been rewarded with a contract already. With that being said, it's also on the business side of things. He has not finished the last two seasons. In the last 4 seasons, he's been injured 4 times. Like, he does not finish at the end. In the fourth quarter, he struggles. Yeah, he hasn't necessarily played with key wide receivers. Hollywood Brown, Bateman, Duvernay, and all those guys were hurt at some point. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, running backs have been injured. But with that being said, that magic part of the career, Terry, here's the part that you get scared about when you're talking about Lamar Jackson. This is going on year 6. This was an option year that just passed. This is year 6. I'm scared that if I get Lamar Jackson as a Detroit Lions fan, now what the Atlanta Falcons chooses to do, that's completely on them. They're a different organization. I think they could use Lamar Jackson. But for the Lions, that magic part of Lamar's window, I think Maz and Terry, I think it might be gone. And when I mean my magic, that running 4-3, like that spin move and those exciting moves that he was doing in year 1, year 2, year 3. Notice in year 5 last year when he put on 20 pounds, so he put on 20 pounds so that he didn't get hurt. And he got hurt. Notice early in the year he looked a little slower on that long run.
And he can lose the weight.
Understand, but he gained the weight to stay healthy.
And but he don't have to anymore. He's got a great offensive line and some great weapons. He doesn't always have to run anymore. He's not going to run for his life.
But when I'm telling you,
if he doesn't run, why do you want him?
Part of the thing that makes him special is because he is so elite at running. But oh, by the way, he's a better passer than most people give him credit for.
On the run.
This is year 6. That 4-3 is now 4-5. Like all that running around, he's got nicks and bruises and injuries. Those things are going to start to hurt. My knee hurts now for something that happened 10 years ago.
I know.
Like that stuff is going to change. So if you're not in the pocket like a Joe Burrow, if you're not in the pocket like a Josh Allen, who struggled last year too, where's the dynamite part of what you used to be? Now I miss the Magic years, and I'm getting a guy that's just really good versus spectacular exciting. That's the thing I fear for if I'm the Detroit Lions or a comparable organization trying to get the Lamar Jackson.
This is my biggest fear with the National Football League is when you sign a free agent for buku bucks, you're paying for what he did 5-6 years ago. This is
Miguel Cabrera.
This is a young man's league.
Yeah.
At least Cabrera went into his 30s before he faded.
Well, I'm saying he got his money because of what he did.
Sure, for what he did.
Yeah.
But then, in the National Football League, that's really hurtful. I mean, you bringing in Lamar Jackson, you think he's going to light it up. And when he doesn't, and when he gets hit several times, I don't care how good the offensive line is, he's going to get hit at some point. And he's going to be lingering. He's going to be, damn, this stuff really hurts here.
Yeah.
I can barely make it up and down the field. When he loses the athleticism, he's no good.
But who says
he's not going to become Frank
he's going to lose it?
Look at what happened to Cam
Look
Newton.
how long Mike Vick lasted.
But see, Michael Vick was an elite passer too, though. Like he didn't get the kind of Mike Vick had a rocket launcher arm.
Yeah,
he had
he
a
does.
beautiful tight spiral where he could put the ball in some tight, beautiful windows. That never was the thing about him. The thing about him was that he runs a lot, but what happens is when you take him out of pocket, he's looking to run as opposed to pass. But he was always an elite passer of the football, and that's why it's a perfect example. Because you see what happens when the legs start failing after he goes to jail, gets out of jail after 2 years. He gets to the Eagles in 2009, 2010. He still had a Pro Bowl 2 seasons as an elite passer, only having to step out of pocket a little bit. But look what happened to Cam Newton. Look what happened to a guy that really relied on his legs and was just an okay thrower. He was pretty decent throwing the football. Cam was pretty good early on. But then what happened was the athleticism starts to fade, those injuries, going out, doing those flips over individuals, getting hit, a lot of unnecessary roughness calls they did not call in the NFL. We know about that. Now all of a sudden it starts to happen and you fade a little faster.
And why do we know Cam Newton today? Not because of his running, not because of his passing.
Dancing.
We know him because of his hats.
That's why you're wearing yours today? You're representing him?
Right, I'm representing Cam
true.
Newton.
Well, he did. He was quite a dresser. No question about that. But he got to a Super Bowl.
He did.
He got to a Super Bowl.
And he won MVP.
Before he faded.
And then it was
I just don't think Lamar Jackson's on the downside of his career.
right. I don't think he is either, but at the same time, when you're in the front office, these are the decisions you got to think about. Like, these are the decisions that you have to make. And if you're a front office and you're not the Baltimore Ravens, you're like, hey, man, I hope it works with Lamar Jackson, but I can't take the risk of paying him for what the Ravens should have paid him for, and it doesn't work with me. I can't take that risk this day and age.
You know the injuries.
Yeah.
You know what he did to his knee last year. Can he come back stronger?
Yeah, I think he can. But there's also a side that he can't. Like, when you're paying this type of money, like, Maz, we're going into
Well, they're gonna look at him.
Yeah, exactly. And when I'm looking at him, we're going into a new spectrum, a new world of money. We're not talking about paying him what Daniel Jones got paid. We're not talking about paying him what Derek Carr is getting paid. We're not talking about paying him what Jared Goff currently makes. We're talking about paying him upwards of 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. When I'm looking at that, my eye opens a lot bigger than when I'm looking at 35. At 35, I'm kind of like, yeah, all right. I'm glossing over things at $35 million. At $50 million, Maz, as a GM, a president, and an owner, I am breaking down the littlest details. I'm breaking down how he gets out of the car in the morning. Ooh, looks like his knee's kind of hurt. I don't know. It looked like his knee was stiff. I'm breaking down everything for $50 million a year.
Okay, here you go. You're going to pay Lamar Jackson or Jared Goff $50 million. Who are you paying?
Terry? Neither is my answer, but
You have one of them.
Yeah, if you're forcing me to pick one.
Because they're not going to take a run. They're going to take a
$50
quarterback with the number one pick. We already know
but
that.
you know what? If Jared Goff is coming in with $50 million, you can get rid of his ass. At that point, I would hope to have some young guy ready to go.
When? They don't draft them.
They will one day.
When? This is the
They
last
might-
time they're picking in the top
They
10.
might do it this year. Who knows? But get somebody. I mean, they have free agents every year, right? You can draft somebody. Patrick Mahomes, was he drafted?
he was 13.
He was. Okay.
13.
Lamar
They
Jackson,
moved up
was
to
he
get
drafted?
him. Yeah, he was. They moved up to
At
get
some
him.
point, the Lions will no longer be in, you got to build a team. We got to build depth. We got to do this. We got to blah, blah, blah. At some point, they're going to like, hey, you know what? We got multiple picks this year. Let's try to get ourselves a
They're
quarterback.
ready now, Terry.
So you want to draft
They're
that
ready
quarterback
now.
right now?
They're ready now.
Yeah, they're ready now with Jared Goff. They're ready now with Jared Goff, man. Like,
Okay.
look, $30 million this year for Jared Goff, $31 million.
I'm not complaining about him or what he did last
Yeah.
year. I'm not. I'm going to complain in 2 years.
This is true. We can
Or
revisit.
4. You never know.
I think the Detroit Lions are in a very good situation. I think Jared Goff, it's not even that it's for cheap. I mean, it is for cheap compared to what guys are getting. I mean, hell, Daniel Jones.
It's middle class.
Yeah, what did Daniel Jones make? Daniel Jones making $38 million a year? Or was it,
47.
he got, it was, I thought it was
I don't know what he got, but he was asking for 47.
It was one. He got 4 for 160. I think it's 40.
Yeah, Daniel Jones got 40 a year.
Daniel Jones got $40 million.
Is he
a year.
worth 40 a year, brother?
No, he's not worth $40
Well,
million a year.
he got signed.
Okay, I'm
No,
just
he's
saying.
not worth 40, but that's the market now. Like, Daniel Jones is not worth $40 million a year. He had 17 touchdowns in 18 games last year, like with Brian Daboll, and he didn't turn the ball over last year. Like, and that's all he gave you. Like, he's averaging 1.5 touchdowns a game, like less than 1.5. Like, that's not good enough, but that's the market.
He did show them marked improvement with
What did
Dayball there.
$40 million worth of improvement.
Well, obviously they think so because they gave it to him. They like what they have. They gave Saquon.
Baby
they
boy.
gave Saquon
I
the
don't
tag.
think they
I would
did
disagree.
it because they wanted to. They had to.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Correct. They had to.
I don't think they wanted to. I mean, I think they look at this and say, okay, what we're paying him is ridiculous, but what choice do you have?
Do you know last year they had a chance to do his 5th-year option?
Yeah,
They decided against it.
because they didn't believe in
It
him.
was going to be $28 million. Now they're paying him like $42 million. So they rolled the dice and they crapped out because the kid got better. You want to do that? You want to do that with Jared Goff? That's the only thing I'm saying. Yes, he was great last year.
Right.
Very good, not great. He was very good last year. And he'll probably be very good this year. He is a good quarterback. I'm just saying, I would, for my money, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson than Jared Goff. That's all.
If the money's equal.
Well, that's a fair.
It will be.
That's a fair assessment. Speaking of fair assessments, JB, tell us about Fairway.